gotta talk about a topic that I've been meaning to talk about, needing to talk about, wanting to talk about, but a little scared to talk about. Y'all. Okay, now my eyes watering. I promise I'm not crying. Eyes watering. Okay. So here's the deal. There's like a shiny spot. Hello. Let's see if I can close that off. There we go. Here's the deal. I'm supposed to have vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery done pretty soon. I started the process at the end of May at my doctor's office, at my surgeon's office, and my insurance, which is Medicare, was supposed to cover it. If I had a BMI over 40 and if I had no comorbidities, as long as my BMI was over 40, it was going to be covered, as long as I jumped through all the hoops. And there were hoops. So these nutrition classes that frankly I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff. They were saying to do all low-fat, fat-free stuff, and those low-fat, fat-free products have a lot of stuff in them that are not good for you. Really, really bad fillers. And then they started talking about using canola oil, and I can't believe it's not butter, and like fake stuff. All these chemicals. Like, I just, but I did it because it was mandatory. I did my talks with the nutritionist one-on-one that I had to do. I had to see the cardiologist. I had to see the psychiatrist, or actually I think it was a social worker, for a psych eval. You know, I did all these things, and I've talked about them on here, and you know, it was supposed to be covered. So then we got this horrible news a little over a week ago, which I've already shared, which was my insurance no longer is going to cover it. They have changed their regulations, and now I can't fight it because Medicare is a government-run agency, and when they change their rules, it doesn't matter to them that you had already started under their old rules. They don't care. This is their new rules, and so I could gain even like over 50 more pounds, which not doing, or I could wait until I get a comorbidity. And what that means is, like, I can wait until I'm actually diabetic, not just pre-diabetic. You would have to be diabetic. I could do a sleep study to see if I have sleep apnea, but I don't snore, so I don't have sleep apnea. Or wait until I have a cardiac heart problem. You know, if you have a heart attack, you're good. Just wait. That makes a lot of sense, Medicare. Tons of sense. Anyways, so I went through a freak out period where I was like, what am I going to do? I really need this surgery. I want to get healthier. I want to get this weight off of my joints for my chronic pain issues. I think that it could only help me. And I was, very decided on it. It took me years to come to the conclusion that I would have this surgery. So I don't really want anybody telling me, well, you don't need to have surgery, just lose weight, go to the gym, blah blah blah. I've tried everything, and with my chronic pain condition, I can't go to the gym and kill it like I used to. And I used to be a gym rat. I used to go to the gym hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I did CrossFit. I loved it. But then I got sick. I hurt my back, then I got fibromyalgia, blah blah blah, all of that stuff, and now my exercise looks like stretching, what most people would consider stretching, or light walking. I can't like rev my heart rate up, because if I do that, I take that back, I can, but if I do it, then I'm in the bed for days, if not a week, every time. So it's just, so I can't be in the bed all the time. I mean, I can't avoid it. Sometimes I am. Sometimes my fibromyalgia has flares, and I pretty much can't do anything. But I try to avoid that when at all possible. One thing that I've learned that helps me avoid that is my ketogenic way of eating. It has helped my inflammation levels in my body immensely. Now, it's not a cure. I understand that I still have chronic pain and I still have fibromyalgia, and keto's not going to make it go away. But between eating keto and taking my smarter curcumin, those two things have helped immensely, and I have a lot less down days, a lot less. I still have them, but they're less. But another reason that I know I need to have this surgery is because I have been eating keto since June, and I did lose 20 pounds initially, which was awesome. And since then, I've been fighting the same 3 to 5 pounds. I'll lose it, I'll gain it. I'll lose it, I'll gain it. If I have one day where I go over my carbs, I gain 5 pounds. And then, you know, it takes me 2 weeks to pull it back off. So, it's been amazing for my health, but not amazing for weight loss for me. I also am on medications, I'm not going to name them, but I'm on multiple medications that cause weight loss, and I'm at the ultimate high dose that it is. And that's for my pain and for my depression and anxiety, things that I can't just quit cold turkey, things I may never be able to quit. I am working on one of them right now, trying to lower the dose, and I would really like to lower the dose of all of them as much as possible, but I don't know how possible that's going to be. So all that said, to come to this. All right, you ready? I am going to have weight loss surgery, vertical sleeve gastrectomy, in Mexico. I know. I flipped out about it. I was super overwhelmed about it. I cried about it. I'm like, you know, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I can't go to Mexico and die. What? I mean, Mexico? Really? But I've seen, and I feel like this is a God thing. I never was on YouTube. I didn't have a YouTube account. I mean, I knew what YouTube was, but it wasn't something I did or looked at. And when I decided to have the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, something said, look it up on YouTube. Maybe people have talked about it. And I really wasn't expecting it. I thought, you know, I think my daughter suggested it, and I didn't expect it. There to be anybody talking about it on there. I didn't realize how big YouTube was. I thought of it as like, you know, go to watch somebody's music video or something. That's what I thought it was. So I think it's really a God thing that I was sent there, and watching everybody's VSG or weight loss surgery stories, there's a bunch of people that do go to Mexico for this, and I had watched some of their stories also. And so I thought, who had I watched that went to Mexico? And then I went back and watched those people and reached out to some different people. Erin at my VSG confessional had chronicled her journey really, really thoroughly, and she went to a doctor in Puerto Vallarta named Dr. Hidalgo. And so I was looking really closely into him, and then I was also looking at a couple in Tijuana. But frankly, the thought of going to Tijuana, I don't know. I've been to Tijuana, and it was really rough and really dirty, and you know, I don't know, I know tons of people go to Tijuana, and there's probably doctors there. I know there's doctors there that are very good. And so the first thing that was overwhelming was there are so many, and you go onto these websites and you go onto these Facebook sites and you hear all these different people's thoughts and what happened with them and who they suggest, and it's overwhelming. There's just so many. So I just started narrowing it down, and as I'm doing it, I'm praying about it, and something just kept me going back towards the Dr. Hidalgo in Puerto Vallarta. I just felt a peace about that. I felt a peace about going there. They were really easy to communicate with. And then I reached out in person to Erin and was like, you know, tell me about it, the good, the bad, the ugly. She didn't really have any bad or ugly, only good. And she was so sweet and so informative, even, you know, above and beyond what she'd already put out on YouTube that I'd already watched multiple times and probably will again the closer I get. So that's it. I'm gonna have weight loss surgery in Mexico. I would love the support. I would love your support. I would love your prayers. I would not love your negative comments or your don't do it. I don't really want anybody commenting in that way. It's hard enough to make the decision, hard enough to put it out there and tell people that you're going to Mexico to have surgery. You know, my husband was a little freaked out at first. My mom was a little bit freaked out, but they've come around to it also, and my husband's going to go with me. It looks like I'm going to have surgery on drum roll. Okay, that's not a drum roll. I don't know how to do a drum roll, obviously. I think this is not set in stone, but it is scheduled, and there's a deposit down on November 25th. 4th, which is a Saturday. I would leave November 23rd, have surgery on Saturday the 24th, and then come home the following Wednesday. So I would be there from Friday to Wednesday, and my husband's going to go with me, which is why we're doing it over Thanksgiving, so he doesn't have to miss a lot of work. And right now we're just waiting for his work to approve him to be gone, because he is a teacher and taking off right before a holiday is really kind of a no-no. But this way he's going to miss the least amount of work overall, so I think it's going to be fine. We just have to wait for that and then book our tickets. And I'm sure somebody's going to ask for, you know, well, how much does that cost, Erica? And if anybody's interested and has questions because they're thinking about doing it, please feel free to ask me. I'm going to chronicle my journey the whole way. So, you know, anytime you have questions or thoughts that are, you know, or, you know, negative thoughts too, but that are constructive, you know, I'm fine with constructive criticism. Where am I going? Squirrel. Rabbit hole. What do you call that? I don't know. I'm getting off the subject. So basically, super pumped about it, super excited. I feel at peace about it. I no longer am freaked out about the fact that it's in Mexico. And y'all, there's tons of what they call it medical tourism, but not just for weight loss surgery. People go there for tons of dental surgeries, and people also go for even like orthopedic surgeries. So I had no idea. I had no idea until I had like started looking into this VSG and had seen people that had gone to Mexico, and then I'm gonna go, so I really looked into it. I was surprised how many. So that's the plan. That's what I'm doing. I wanted to share it with y'all. Some of y'all that have become my YouTube friends already kind of know what's going on with it. You know, I'd mentioned it, and I know people were wondering. So people in my real life that have found this channel, and my YouTube friends that have found this channel, I love y'all, and I really would appreciate the support and the prayers as we go through this journey. And I will chronicle it the whole way and share how everything is going, and so you can expect that from me. I will, you know, I will log my whole journey. That's the whole reason I'm doing this YouTube channel, is to log my weight loss journey, share it with other people in the bariatric community. And I'm a nurse, and health and wellness has always been huge to me. And until I got sick, I wasn't overweight. I was in really good shape. But, you know, I let depression take over a lot. I gained a lot of weight because I was depressed and because of the pain. And it's not just lack of exercise. I truly believe that nutrition is 80 to 90% of the whole health and wellness. What you put in your body matters so much. So I'm not trying to say that being sick is what made me fat. What made me fat was this crap that I put in my mouth, coupled with the medicine, coupled with no more exercising, because I used to kill it at the gym. So all of those things together, and it's time to get healthy again. It's time to set a good example for my kids. I feel like we eat very healthy overall. You know, I let stuff in that I shouldn't. You know, we did paleo for the last over 6 years, and no gluten, no sugars, all of that kind of stuff, no bad flours. You know, overall, the quality of our food has been good, but for me it was quantity. I struggle with binging for sure, and I was feeding pain. I feed pain, I feed emotions. I'm very much an emotional eater, and weight loss surgery will not cure. It's not a cure-all. It's a tool. It's a tool that I'm very excited to have, and one that I can't wait to use. And I've also been working on my emotional eating. It has gotten amazingly better, and I wouldn't say I'm cured of it. I don't know if I'll ever will be. It's always gonna be a thing for me, but I'm doing so much better with it. Eating keto, eating low carb, high fat, helps me immensely with my cravings. I don't have as many cravings, and my cravings have always been carby cravings. I'm not a huge sweets person. I mean, sometimes I want some chocolate, but I'm not like an ice cream person or a big sweets person. For me, it was more like bread and pasta and carbs and all that kind of stuff. So, wow, it's been like 15 minutes of me talking now, so I'm gonna stop. So that's it. I'm going to Mexico, gonna have weight loss surgery. I chose vertical sleeve gastrectomy, and I'm super, super excited and super pumped, and I am ready for that day to come. Between here and now, I'm just gonna stick with my keto thing and work hard at my body and at what I'm putting into my body. And between now and then, I'm gonna work really hard at making sure I get enough protein every day too, because sometimes I'm just not hungry with this whole keto thing, and then I just don't eat enough. Some days not enough calories, a lot of days it ends up not being enough protein, plenty of fat but not enough protein. So I'm going to really focus on that protein intake. Okay, I did it. I didn't cry. I shared it. It's out there.